Afghanistan, a small, pathetic, insignificant country. Two major powers fought for control of its territory for decades. But nowadays, in 1936, Afghanistan is a proud, independent nation, starting with 6.6 million core population and an industry so small that it makes Latvia look like Manhattan. For real though, Latvia has no right to start with this many factories. Afghanistan got a focus tree on the 4th of March 2025 as part of the infamous DLC Graveyard of Empires, a DLC that gave the Hearts of Iron 4 community incurable brain damage. Surrounded on all sides by more powerful countries, achieving anything notable as Afghanistan is certainly a challenge. From having to fight almost exclusively in mountains and deserts, to the atrocious supply of the region and the lack of any meaningful resources on a 4,000 kilometer radius. It's safe to say that Afghanistan is not for beginners. So welcome everybody to the brand new series where I play every country in Hearts of Iron 4 that has a focus tree and play every single one of its paths. This format has been inspired by Atlas Productions and Bubbles Zest, links to both their channels in the description, and I wanted to do this for quite a while. From all the way back when I formed every single Ethiopian nation in one video. And after 2 years, it's finally happening. Every game in this series is gonna be played on Iron Man with no mods, and I will play each distinct political path a country has to offer. The only two rules that I'm gonna set for myself are: first is to reach the final focus or focuses of a path, and second one is that I will have to control every single core and claimed state at the end of every playthrough. So those videos will take a lot of time to make, so don't expect them very often. At the start of the game, Afghanistan is non-aligned and has the following national spirits: King Zahir Shah, which gives 10% stability; Pashtun Wali, which gives political power, army, naval, and air debuffs, as well as 20% stability and a daily tick for unaligned support; Turkish military mission, which gives some small army buffs; subsistence economy, which gives 20% stability and a bunch of horrible mandatory industrial debuffs, such as minus 35% efficiency cap, minus 50% efficiency growth, and a whopping minus 50% factory output. And there is also the Kwami national spirit, which also gives a bunch of little army buffs. We start with 10 divisions and only 2 research slots. That's everything notable about Afghanistan at the beginning of the game, so without further ado, let's begin. We will have to support King Zahir, expand the king's power base, and retiring tanks, and promote the counter elite. Now you can do the he who puts his trust in God focus, which will make it a bit harder to flip communist, but it gives you access to 1 research slot, which you will lose otherwise, as you cannot get it if you go communist first, so it's a good idea to go for it before doing anything else. Now you can also hire the socialist journalist to start getting some communism support, as you will need 20% to spark a communist civil war, or 60% if you want to avoid it. And trust me, you want to avoid it. Now that we have 3 research slots, it's time to expand the telegraph network and go down to renew Soviet trade agreement, Salang Pass Tunnel, and Janagalak truck factory for more communist support. I recommend leaving this focus for when you have more than 50% communist support, because the more you got, the slower it ticks. So while you wait until 1942 to get over 60% communist support, it's recommended to do whatever. I myself gonna do a little bit of everything, but especially industry, because those focuses are quite good. Well, it seems like you cannot get to over 60% communist support if you do this focus, because you hit the equilibrium at about 50%. So now it's going back down, but I'm gonna try something. I'll do this focus, getting 7.5%, getting me quite close, and then I'm gonna ban both fascist and democratic parties, and that might just be enough for me to start this. Oh, that was barely enough, but in 35 days I think it's gonna go under 60, so I might still have to fight the civil war. This is so shitty. Now I understand why everybody hates this DLC. Well, never mind, it seems like it worked. I no longer hate the DLC. December 38. Not a bad time to switch, really. Now we can continue our tree going down to Defender of Central Asia, where you can form the Socialist Republics of Central Asia and have the Soviet Union give you territory in Central Asia, of course. The Socialist Republics of Central Asia has been formed, and the Soviets accept our proposal. I don't think they can actually say no, but you get all this territory for free. About 9 million people, which you don't core, by the way. In order to do that, you need to develop Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan, and do the focus Central Asian unification, which still does not core shit. And when that's done, you unlock the development of Central Asia decisions, where you can just core each individual state for 30 political power and a wait time of 30 days. Unfortunately, you will have to do them one at a time, which I'm not a big fan of. And after coring all the free territory that you get from the Soviet Union, that's pretty much it for the communist path. You don't get any additional cores or claims, only a war goal on Iran, which you cannot even use if you are no longer in the faction with the Soviets. So other than being a pretty good support for the Soviets in a historical game, this path does not have much to its name. You can get a total of 16 million core population, so about 10 million people from the Soviets, which will set you up for an easy conquest of Iran and maybe even India, but that's pretty much it. 6 out of 10. So let's move over to the next path, which I'm sure is gonna be much more entertaining than this one was. You need to do the exact same focuses as for the communist path, but this time you need at least 20% democratic support instead of communism. Weirdly enough, you only need to get over 50% to not have a civil war, while for the communists is 60. Unfortunately, you cannot get over 50% democracy either if you do this focus, but it's just too good to pass. But if you do this focus, you can ask for investment from the major powers and they can influence your politics. So the RNG from this focus might be enough to push us over the edge. I just need 2.5% more democracy support, as this focus can give me 5% as well. Unfortunately, everybody refused. So we will have to fight the civil war this time. That's gonna be fun. At least you start with the better half of the country. This entire war was hell. I do not want this, not even for my biggest ops. And trust me, I hate Benjamin Netanyahu so much. Now you can finally, for the first time ever in Afghanistan, hold elections. And then by doing the focus declare a republic, you will be able to choose a new identity for the nation, which may alter what is considered our core states or may add new ideas. The future of Afghanistan is upon us, and we can either do a fresh start, becoming the Republic of Afghanistan, we can become the Republic of Pashtunistan and get a couple cores, or become the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, not getting much else. We're of course gonna pick the only option that gives us cores, and we become this lovely green. There is nothing special about the two other options from what I seen in my test runs, and the only one that gives cores only gives on CB, Waziristan, and Peshawar. So about 5.5 million people more. It's weird that it doesn't core this one as well. My war goal is ready. Unfortunately, I have to fight a lot of people, and greedy pesky Iran is taking my territory. I hope I won't have to declare war on them as well. Oh, never mind. It seems like I will have to. Oh, really? How did they not generate any world tension? The situation looks quite tensionate, if you ask me. Well, under those circumstances, there isn't much I can do about this situation, so I won't be able to take this state. I'm glad I managed to break the rule I imposed in the very first episode of this series. So in the end, the Republic of Pashtunistan can provide you with 13 million core population. The standards in Hearts of Iron for democratic paths are not high, but this one is especially awful, making it almost impossible to flip peacefully while not providing you with much. The bonuses are fine, but the fact that you only core a couple states in Pakistan, which you can core anyway as any path makes it, in my opinion, just redundant. I don't see much potential here for a fun single player or multiplayer game, as your only options for expansion are either into the Raj, which is in the only historical democratic faction, or you can help the Germans kill the Soviet Union. So this path is gonna get a 3 out of 10 from me today. Next path. We need to support King Zahira, just like before, but instead of going left, we need to go right. Then we can either secure German or British investment, then we can construct a dam, secure the dynasty, maintain neutrality, and give the boot to both the Allies and the Axis. And that was it. Yeah, well, Afghanistan didn't do shit, so you don't do shit either. 1 out of 10. We need to do the focus against Kabul and contact Amanullah loyalists. Unfortunately, this path has a guaranteed civil war. So I'm gonna get German support, more Pashtun militias, and give the enemy a debuff before doing the return of the king to spark the civil war. This is horrible, but at least it's the last civil war I have to fight in Afghanistan for today. I didn't even get the capital this time. I gotta say, the German volunteers saved the day. I got 4 of them and they were absolutely amazing. Now we can continue our political tree, but I'm gonna rush for this research slot and then focus a little more on industry, because I will finally get to fight some serious wars after an entire day of recording. Doing the focus Shadows of the King unlocks some decisions that you can do in each state using command power, and they will each give you 5% stability. And you will need that, because most of the focuses here take your stability away. This path offers by far the most content. You got the option to exploit Turco-Persian heritage, making a faction and getting allies, or getting war goals on neighboring states. You can ally the Basmaki remnants, claiming basically all of Central Asia. You can also infiltrate those states and get them to rise up when you declare war on the Soviets, and you can straight up just demand territory from the Raj. I think it's best for this path to be played historically, because in my game the Raj got a severe case of almost not existing anymore, which I believe might make things a little awkward. The focus to declare war on the Soviet Union bypassed, unfortunately, because of the second Soviet Civil War, but now we can form the Pashtunistan Ascendancy, giving Amanullah Khan this amazing buff. 20% political power, 20% stability, minus 50% justify war goal time, and minus 10% damage to garrison. Paired with this other focus, this path makes occupation quite easy. Surprisingly, the Raj accepted to give me some territories, 4 states to be more exact, which almost doubled my core population. If I would have gotten this territory a couple years earlier, I would almost be ready for a war, which in my case I'm nowhere near to. The allies are ginormous. They defeated Germany together with the Soviets, and this is also probably the most successful SSSR I ever seen in a game, and I claim a good chunk of their territories, so I will have to declare war on them soon. Unfortunately, the winning Iran is guaranteed by the lame patrol, so there is no easy way to grab that. Now that I really think about it, I should probably play those on historical mod to save me some suffering. I am currently trusting deep into Iran. They decided to shit all over the guarantees of the major powers and declare war on them instead. So I took my chance to swiftly invade, before the USA got the chance to find out there is oil there. Never mind, scratch all of that. Iran just suddenly became a British puppet. So I lost 100k manpower for nothing. I will instead declare war on the Soviets and have all my best friends spawn. Oh my god, the Neo-Seljuk Empire. This shit is so cool. All those countries are my puppets, by the way. And no, there are no decisions to annex them or anything cool like that. Although I claimed their territory, as well as a good chunk of Kazakhstan. This was way faster than I thought it would be. The Polish are really doing God's work right here. The Soviets are at 64%. I managed to take a good chunk of Kazakhstan, but that's only 3% war participation, so I'll probably not be able to take anything. And that's why I always play with player-led conferences on. Well, I barely managed to get all the territory I claim, and I'm afraid this is all that the path has to offer. I'm getting my way down to Savior of the Holy Land, which gives Amanullah Khan another powerful trait, and a bunch of war goals, but not a single claim or core, or any decision to form any nation, which is kind of disappointing. I'm also gonna spend the time to annex my puppets to see if I can core them, but I don't think that's gonna be possible.
A few minutes later.
And it seems like there is absolutely no way to core anything else. You can of course core the rest of Pakistan from the military here, but we don't care about that. This path is not very powerful. You get a clear-cut alliance to Germany on historical, but it takes a very long time to get ready, just because of the amount of focuses in this path, which is the longest, and in the end you only get around 14 million core population. 6 out of 10. And now, we finally got to the big guns. We go against Kabul again, go to remember the Khost rebellion, and once again prepare for a very painful civil war. This one might be the easiest civil war though, because you can get volunteers from both Germany and Japan. And by inviting the Waziristan rebels, we get our first claims on the Pashtuni territories of the Raj, those two states. After winning the easiest civil war of your life, you can crown the Golden Emir, becoming fascist and officializing the rule of Fakir of Ipi. As Afghanistan, you have the choice to never be able to go over volunteer only ever again if you choose the maintain Kuomi branch, but in exchange you get lots of irregular buffs and a huge cavalry one, and paired with the reintroduced heavy cavalry buff makes the horse in Hearts of Iron 4 basically a tank with hooves. And you can also get the cross-border ties focus, which allow you to just straight up demand those states from the Raj. Manpower will of course be an issue, as you can see, but sometimes you can get some free territory, so let's try it out. Support Northwest Frontier Rebels also demand some states from the Raj, but you are warned that this focus might get you into a war with the Raj, which, let's be serious, you are not really a match for without getting any free territory. Okay, this is absolutely awful. Apparently, if you go ahead and demand a state and the Raj rejects, you have to declare war on them via event or lose your claim entirely on the state. And that's just awful. I might have forever lost 5 million people. Okay, I don't understand the Raj anymore. They just gave me those two states after doing this focus. I guess they are just fickle like that. I'm gonna approach anti-Soviet theologies next. The Soviets are kind of dead though, so I don't know what that would do exactly, but we are up to 12.7 million core population, and that's pretty good. And I'm also gonna form the Turkestan Legion, which will let me recruit divisions from all across the Turkic world. That sounds like a very interesting focus, but it will probably end up being very underwhelming. Also, it seems like you cannot do anything in Central Asia if the Soviets no longer control it. Now we can also unite Pashtunistan, becoming the Islamic State of Pashtunistan, getting a war goal on the Raj and coring this state. We can raise divisions in all of those seemingly random places like Tanu Tuva for the cost of 2000 infantry equipment and 25 command power. Also only doable one at a time. I really hate when they limit it this way. Just make the decision take longer or be more expensive, and let me do as many as I want at once. This is the division you get from the Turkestan Legion decisions, by the way. I'm surprised that it has support, so it's not so bad after all. And finally, the last focus of this branch, proclaiming a new caliphate. Our leader gets the caliph trait, 10% political power gain, 500 weekly manpower, and some division core attack and defense buffs. We also claim the entirety of the Islamic world, including Albania and Bosnia, war goals on all the nations that control those states, and the ability to core them, which is firstly fucking awesome, and secondly fucking horrible, because I will need to conquer all this shit, as per the rules that I made up myself. So I'm glad it basically took a single episode of this series for me to need to do a world conquest. I really did it to myself this time. Now, this is exactly the reason I wanted a map mode to see cores and claims compatible with Iron Man, because I just got about 200 claims on states, and I only vaguely know what I claimed. Like, yeah, the Middle East and North Africa makes sense, but did I claim Iberia as well? No. I do claim Bosnia, but not Serbia, all of Albania, Kosovo, and Debar, and I also seem to be coring random states in the Soviet Union, and I will need to check each one manually. For example, I claimed those two, and a couple Chinese states, and all of Indonesia it seems like, except Java, which is mainly Muslim. But I do core East Timor, which is like 98% Catholic. Also the panhandle of Siam. Okay, Paradox, you really did it this time. I have a lot of work to do. Well, at least you don't need to wait for compliance to core anything. You just need 50 PP and the core will be done in 7 days. That's actually real cool. It took about 1 year to summon all the divisions from the Turkestan Legion, but I finally got them all. I still don't feel quite ready to take on the allies, but at least I got the shambles of the Soviet Union to help me out. So in late 1944, it's finally time to do something. My divisions seem to be hitting pretty hard, and the best news of today is that you can core the states just by occupying them. I will just core West Punjab in 7 days and have infinite manpower for the playthrough. Captured and cored all of Pakistan. I got 43 million core population now. Manpower is not where I imagined it to be yet, but the main problem right now is resources, as Pakistan has literally nothing, so I'm mainly lacking steel and coal. But luckily for me, India has a lot of those two resources, and the Brits don't seem willingly to protect it at all. So I'll just take it for myself. I got to say though, those elephant divisions are absolutely broken, but they are quite expensive to say the least. This is pretty much the Raj capitulated. This took care of most of my resource problems, so now I can just build up to kill the Soviet Union and apparently the entire Middle East, which is in their faction. It just so happens that most of my cores are in that direction as well, so the short of it is that things are going good. I think I kinda shot myself in the foot by going irregulars, because I got 155 million core population and 0 manpower. I cored all of Bengal and only got like 200k manpower, nearly all of it going into garrisons, by the way. So although the cavalry buffs are amazing, it's still not worth to go irregulars. I wish they would at least let me go limited conscription, but there is nothing I can do about this now. After dealing with some slight inconveniences in India, aka a famine and a rebellion, I finally mustered enough manpower to be able to make a full army in 1951 with 168 million core population, so I can declare war on the Soviets. There go my best friends spawning, and somehow the Soviets managed to conquer all of Europe. Unfortunately, my friends, after playing more than 6 hours and killing over 20 million people, I will have to restart this specific campaign. I'm absolutely shredding the enemy, but I just don't have the divisions to cover all my fronts. So be careful if you wanna go with the irregulars. They are absolutely busted, but there is just no way to get enough manpower. Finally, I got lucky after 2 or 3 more failed tries. At this point, I've been playing nothing but Afghanistan for the 4th day in a row. But this time I managed to get very lucky and kill Iran early, because they had a civil war, and also get those 2 states from the Raj. Now I'm going to integrate all of Iran and kill the Raj, because they are in this very weird axis, and the Soviets are apparently going for the Roman Empire, so overall everything is a mess. Funny how I end up at war with the Soviet Union that conquered all of Europe. Again, they also managed to steal half an India from me, even though they never set foot anywhere near it. Vanilla pistols are just awesome. Soviet Union is dead 100%, 35 million casualties. They somehow got their ass kicked by Finland. I don't know if I should be surprised or afraid. Either way, I got 4 more majors to capitulate. Coming right up. I wanna say that I'm really sorry for doing this to you, France, but there is only one way to the Spanish commune, and that way is through Paris. Also, I don't really give a fuck. There we go. Pistol, finally 69%. Alas, a truly funny number. Tradition never dies. I will still have to battle the USA to the death. And the funny thing is that they didn't even touch this entire continent. I will never stop being salty about vanilla pistols. Fucking hate them. Of course I had to spend hours upon hours of my life to core all the territory that I gathered. So this is how it looks like so far. This must be the most disgusting nation I have ever laid my eyes upon. Maybe second only to France. Oh no, wait, I also so hungry. Either way, I'm gonna spend more hours upon hours of my life to get the rest of my cores. I got some left in the Sahel, Yemen, Siam, and Indonesia. I will unfortunately have to go to war with Japan and the Commonwealth of Nations because they are no fun and guaranteed all over the place. That is Japan dead, and with that, off I go to the last war. It's 1964. I've been playing this campaign for 13 hours, and I still have 2 more to go through. Holy fuck. And finally, the very last state I have to core, Gambia. It took me 13 hours, but it's finally over for this path. I think I'm holding all of my cores now. Checking all the states around me by hand, one by one, is very painful, but I think I got it all finally. We got 446 million core population. At the start of the game, this is more like 300 probably, and I still don't understand why I cannot core Java. Quite strange of a path if you ask me, and this is what Paradox expects you to do as Afghanistan, pretty much. The path is gonna get bonus points just for the sheer amount of cores you can get, but it's just pain all the way through. There are just so many aspects of Afghanistan as a country you have to fix before you can do anything. That is just horrible. If the path would give you some serious economic buffs or army buffs, so you don't have to go all the way to this focus in the army tree or do basically all the economic tree, and you will be able to hold your own against your neighbors earlier, it would be a million times better. But the way it is now, the Golden Emir path barely gets a 7 out of 10. So next up, we have same as before, we need to go against Kabul, remember the Khost rebellion, fight the civil war, all that shit. We finally say goodbye to Fakir. I spent so much time with this guy, he's almost family to me, but he has to go, as there is a new Emir in town, Mr. Said Mir Muhammad Alim Khan, and he's the last of the Bukharans. We get a cool flag and a nice blue color, I like this. We can now restore Herat as the capital, and I don't understand why you would move your capital all the way to the triple border, but maybe that's why Said Mir Muhammad Alim Khan is ruling a country and I'm not. After that, we can proclaim the second Afghan empire, claiming all of Pakistan and getting 1 more military buff. I don't know why those elephants are so goddamn fast, but they have no right to be. I'm just zooming around with those huge beasts. They are faster than some tank divisions you can make. I am overrunning everything and I'm having a lot of fun. This path also allows you to core anything you claim through the same system, so that's cool, but there is not gonna be anywhere near the extent the other path went to. For some reason, this path allows you to do an uprising in the Raj. The Raj no longer exists, but the uprising might still take place. This feels quite weird, and this mechanic rarely helps the player, but the one in the north with the stuns works, so I figured I might try this one out as well. Well, that was a very stupid thing to do. I thought I will go to war with Xinjiang, but no, I'm actually at war with the Axis, which is fucking enormous. And I did all that for this little pathetic loser. Oh yeah, don't do this. Well, things got a little bit worse. I'm gonna try my best, but this is most likely another restart. Just reclaim the Emperor's Lost Domain, which gives me cores on 11 states in Russia. And that's pretty much it. You get all of Iran, most of Central Asia, and Pakistan as cores. You also get Bangladesh, but you don't get those 2 states as in the Golden Emir path. It's kind of sad, but this is still 36 million people. Yeah, well, I think 75 divisions is not enough to fight 1,500. There are just too many fronts to cover. And to believe I entered this pickle for fucking Kalat. Not worth it, man. Not at all. One uneventful war with the Soviets later. This is all you can core from them. And all I have to do now is fight the Japanese for Pakistan. Good news, Kalat is back. Not made by me this time. I think they appeared just out of spite. And there it is, the final core of the second Afghan empire. Looking nice. It's a shame that we don't core India though, but there is an entire path dedicated to only that. So it's understandable. I don't get why we core Bangladesh at all, but we do. So I got to take it, because I have to, I'm a masochist. We got 108 million core population. Pretty good to be honest. The Bukharan Emir path so far is the easiest, in my opinion. The 1.5% recruitable pop really helps. And also, if you incite Turkic resistance in Central Asia, you don't get those territories as puppets. You actually just occupy it. I don't know if that's just specific to this path, or you have to reclaim the Emperor's lost domain first, but it happened for me, and it helps a lot. So the Bukharan Emir is gonna get a strong 7 out of 10. So far, in my heart, it's the highest rated. But we got one more to check out. Exact same setup as the other two paths. After winning the Afghan civil war for the 12th time this week, you can invite the Mughal prince. Straight up becoming the Mughal empire. No effort required. I always find it a bit silly when this happens. It just doesn't seem deserved. We get a new color, new flag, and Mr. Mirza Khurshid Jah Bahur, which so far I think has the biggest military buffs from all the Afghan leaders we had. And after completing Timurid bureaucracy, you straight up get access to a war goal on India and Xinjiang. No preparations, no nothing. And to help you in your endeavors, you only get a mere 100 weekly manpower and 5% division attack and defense. Which, call me crazy, but I don't think it's enough to fight the allied faction on your own. And I don't think a war with Xinjiang would be fun either. Oh, wait a second. It seems like I missed something. Besides getting that pathetic 100 weekly manpower, you also get to summon 2 Mughal divisions. A total of 3 times, and you need to push halfway through India in order to do that. Very, very helpful. Those are the divisions you spawn, by the way. At least they are mountaineers. We can also just restore the Timurid Empire without having to expand a single goddamn tile. Now, this is what I call game design. Well, now we just stole the color of the Raj. Don't look at the Raj though, the British murdered it. And what the hell is that flag, man? That's an F tier flag right there. Again, you can also do the crown and the world, the final focus of the Mughal branch, without expanding at all. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this kind of design. I want some of those to be locked behind actually having to do something. After a final 2-hour round of preparations, in 1946, I am finally ready to go to war with the Raj. The allies prepared a nice 2-front war for me, so I had to take extra precautions in the west, and the front does not seem well defended at all. So let's go. I claim all of India plus Burma, and I can core all that. I of course got all of Persia, and I need to take the stans from the Soviet Union one last time. I think this is the fairest game I had to play so far, because the world did not unite in one mega faction. There are actually a couple sizable ones, and I like to see that. Oh my fucking god, this is some bullshit. I don't want to go to war with the American faction. Why the fuck did they capitulate to them? I hate when this happens. If the British don't take it back, I will have to go to war with the entire planet. Because I also need Xinjiang from the Chinese United Front. I should have never started this series, oh my god. I'm regretting it, and it's only episode 1, goddammit. You can move the capital to Delhi, by the way. I figured I will wait for the Indian struggle to finish between the USA and China. But in the meantime, the Soviet faction got disbanded and they joined the fucking Allies. So now I have to deal with all this shit. The game really wants to make my last playthrough as Afghanistan as painful as possible.
Tomorrow.
This is a big jump, but here we are. I got all my cores in the Soviet Union and China. We are looking very rotund. I also took out Tibet, Nepal and Bhutan because I want to get the last Afghanistan achievement as well. I also got those other achievements in my endeavors so far, and I think I finally have enough troops to declare war on the states and reclaim my cores in India. So far I got 187 million, and what's left in India is probably more than what I have now. So I think this might be the path that gives Afghanistan the most cores, just because you core India. So this is it. It's over. Timurid Empire, max cores. Thanks the heavens that I don't have to naval invade the fucking Maldives or God knows what random island. I had to go to war with the entire planet, but I achieved it. Over 500 million core population, indeed the most out of all the Afghani paths. I don't understand why this part of the tree doesn't disappear when you go in the right side, but it is what it is. And I got to say, the Timurid path is probably the best Afghanistan has to offer, but even the best Afghanistan has to offer is a 7 out of 10 in my book, because it just thrusts you into very difficult wars without providing much to help you. Like, the 100 weekly manpower is just a joke. That's 400 manpower a month. Why is it even there? This bothers me a lot. So now let's move over to the final conclusions of the video and the final grade for the Afghani 3 as per total. Those are all the games I had to play as Afghanistan, by the way. 10 campaigns in total, about 40 or 50 hours of playing only Afghanistan. I'm gonna be thrilled when this video gets 30k views. But anyway, Afghanistan. It's a pretty versatile tree. It takes a long while to get going, but once you start, you are pretty much unstoppable. Most paths give you a lot of cores that you can play with, but all that means absolutely nothing when it takes you until 1943 to fix your economic and army debuffs. From all the focuses in the normal army branch, there is a single one that is 35 days, and it's the one that gives you camels. Anything useful here, it's 70 fucking days. It takes 2 fucking years just to get to this buff at the bottom of the tree, and almost 3 to completely fix your economic debuffs, while you also have to do political focuses, and thanks God you don't have a proper air and navy trees, because there is no time to do those anyway. The Afghan tree is pretty much like the Turkish tree, with one little exception. For Turkey, there is a big build up until you get to the juicy focuses, where you can do stuff, but most of the Afghan trees thrust you right into the action, with war goals on India and the Soviet Union and every superpower around you, but you cannot do anything with those, because you need to fix the country first. And I get it, Afghanistan was pretty much in the Stone Age back then, but you need to sacrifice a little bit of the realism to make the gameplay work. Another problem I kept having is that the max number of research slots Afghanistan can have is 4, and in modern day Hearts of Iron that's just not enough. I barely managed to keep up with industry and infantry, and there was just not enough resources to spare for air or, God forbid, tanks. And alas, one of the biggest issues that I had and hindered my progress the most is the lack of resources in the region. You can get a little bit of steel from your focus tree, even if it takes 2 years to get it, and you may be able to trade for it if you don't antagonize all your neighbors from just existing, but there is just not enough coal in this entire region. Other than what's in Ukraine, the most you're ever gonna get is the 20 coal in India. You can probably get up to 40 or 50 if you research all your extraction and build high capacity electrical grids, but even if you take all of India, you will only have enough coal for like 100 factories, while you are left fighting the allies, the Comintern, and probably the Axis too. So it is a real challenge. Those are all the grades of all the different paths, but overall the issue with Afghanistan is the army and the industrial tree, so I just cannot give the Afghani tree more than a 4 out of 10. If you are looking for fun, don't fucking play Afghanistan. All you're gonna find here is anger and frustration, so don't bother. That being said, this was the first episode of the new A to Z series. Thank you very much to everybody that got until this point, and I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna keep doing those, but they take a lot of time, so if you wanna help me, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and if you wanna do even more than that, you can become a member on the channel or on Patreon by clicking the link in the description. Thank you very much again, and as always, I would like to thank the members and the Patreons for supporting me every single month. So big thanks to Gabes Licor, Erika Mannerheim, Dante Mantis, Griffin Dame, T3D, Joseph Moran, Lucky, Yaroslav Kryukov, Silon, Canadian Bread, One Happy Tanker, James Ties, Dark Knight TK, Arizona Gold 1090, Amy, Soulless Pacifist, Salad Legrand, Nikita Martinov, Kriben, Lancaster Bomber, Cost Bars, Jasper, Trashcan, The Lad, Nitko, The Fatebound, Lancaster Bomber, again, Jack Sully, and Cost Bars. Again, thanks to everybody else, again, and until next time, don't forget, tune in next time for Argentina, where we are gonna do all the war crimes that you can think of. Goodbye.